Alright, Kyle, let's take a quick look here at some of the differences between your move at the ball and the elite level pattern. When I look at the swing, it's three primary areas: the back leg, the back arm, and then that front side that we hit against. Let's start with the back leg, and how your legs work kind of set up the way the rest of the body works, okay? And with regard to the back leg, what we really try to teach is that your back leg controls your feet. In other words, if we just focus on loading and unloading this back leg, okay, then we don't really have to think about picking up and putting down our front foot. In other words, the loading of our back leg picks it up, and the unloading of the back leg puts it down, okay? And just how you've got this front leg set up here, where the knee is bent, the foot is square, that's essentially how we want that foot to land. Okay, as you can see, when Adrian lands, the foot is square, the knee is bent. Okay, so again, Kyle, what we really want is control your feet with the back leg, set this front leg up how you want it to land, and then simply just load and unload that back leg. That really is it. So taking a look at your move at it here, okay, and you tend to use a tap back, which is fine. We may try to work without that for a little bit, but the main issue that we see here is, number one, you really let that front foot open up, okay, as part of your stride, and you kind of step away from home plate, so the foot steps away and kind of flies open there. And then in addition, we don't get much out of our back leg before that foot lands. So we don't get a real good driving component out of our back leg. Okay, so when you look at Adrian here, there's a load, and then his back leg is unloading into heel plant. Okay, and you can see usually we get some evidence there that that foot is kind of dragging forward if you look at Adrian there. Okay, whereas your foot is more or less just spinning in place. Okay, and the goal isn't to have our foot drag forward. The goal is to get a sideways driving component out of that back leg to add energy into the swing. So we want to feel like this back leg presses sideways into this front side, okay, and then we hit behind this wall on the front side. Okay, so we want to feel like that back leg drives into and against that front side. Okay, and then what we're getting here, Kyle, is when you land, you've still got a lot of weight back here. In other words, that leg isn't really going. Whereas before Adrian's heel lands, his back leg has contributed. Just like when you go to throw, that back leg is unloading before the heel plants, and that's the same type of exchange we want to get here. Okay. The other big thing that you notice here, Kyle, and this is a good mindset to have, when he lands here, both of his toes are still pointed straight ahead. Okay. So you really kind of want to try to develop a sideways feet kind of mentality. This back leg it should be driving laterally sideways, and the front foot shouldn't be flying open there. Okay. I think what you've got is you've got a little bit of a turning or spinning mentality. If you look at your feet, your first move is to kind of turn your front foot open, and then your second move is to kind of turn your back foot without really driving it. Okay, so your front foot turns first, and then your back foot kind of just spins in place. Okay, so it would be like throwing that way. If you didn't push off or drive with your back foot, you just spun it there in the same place. In other words, you're more worried about turning your foot instead of driving with it. How much could you get on that throw? Okay, if you have more of a sideways feet mentality, we'll get what we want. Now, after this back foot pushes sideways, we can let that foot turn over, as you can see Adrian do there, and that's fine. But we don't want to feel like the spinning foot is powering our swing, or we don't want to feel like turning our foot is what's powering the rotation. Okay, and even Adrian here, right after contact, his foot is back to sideways on this particular swing. Okay, so I think this is really at the foundation of what we've got to kind of take a look at here is having this leg, load and then really contribute to the swing, and really putting your back, leg in charge of that front foot, not letting that front foot really bail out and bail open. Okay, so we've got to put the back leg in control and just simply load and then laterally unload it. Load and then sideways drive against that front side.